Hello, welcome to Let's Chat, sponsored by River Valley Community Bank. My name is Jed Dixon, and today we're speaking with Mark Cuniberti, who's from Money Matters at KVMR. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
So I want to roll out the red carpet for you because everybody out there, whether it's they're thinking like, oh, it's post-pandemic, or whether I need to save money for college, or oh, summer's over, all kinds of reasons we all need to be smarter with our cash and with our investments. So
That is true.
it's a fruitful time for you, fruitful time for this organization. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Money Matters?
Sure. It's actually Bay Area Process Incorporated. It's a corporation that I've had, and the name that we recognize is Money Matters from the radio show and from the articles that I do. The radio show's carried about 68 radio stations nationwide.
Nice.
And I write for about 12 newspapers, financial articles once a week. So it keeps me busy. So we have financial services and insurance services.
I've seen the local articles. What other companies or what other papers do you write for? And what's that
Down
about?
in Yuba County, El Dorado, Lincoln, Rockland, Roseville, Loomis, Truckee, down in Marysville. It goes pretty far-reaching. And then when an article goes out, occasionally it'll get legs. It'll be picked up by other newspapers when they see it.
Sure.
So yeah, there's about 1.5 million readers last time they told me. I checked.
That's heavy numbers. Heavy numbers.
Heavy numbers.
For Nevada County and the surrounding area.
For a little guy, a little fish in a big fish in a little pond.
And that's just the written word. So you do a whole lot of speaking. Clearly you have a great presence with your voice. Tell us a little bit about being on the radio with KVMR.
I moved here in '99, and I had done a little voiceovers before. And when I moved here, we didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. In fact, I didn't know anybody that lived here. And I saw an ad to do public service announcements at the local radio station, which was KVMR.
Yeah, what a tight community there, too.
That was a tight community, and when you do the public service announcements, it's the calendar, the community calendar, and it tells you everything that was going on. And in like a week, I came home to my wife and I said, wow, there's so much going on here. And then after doing the public service announcements, I was just writing them at the time. And then the program director heard the voice and said, would you like to do ads? I said, sure, I'll do the public service announcements.
Yeah.
That led into take the broadcaster class in '99 and led into shows, radio shows.
Oh, so your money matters, your money attitude, information and knowledge about money kind of came later on? Secondary to the broadcasting?
Actually, when I was 14, my dad, I was doing the typical things that 14-year-olds do. I was practicing guitar and doing martial arts. I was very, very hyperactive, AAA. OCD.
Yeah, congratulations.
There you go. And he gave me a book called You Can Profit from the Coming Devaluation of the U.S. Dollar. And I read it and I couldn't put it down. I just couldn't put it down. And so I knew immediately what I wanted to do. So I graduated with economics in, I don't think I want to say the year, but I will, 1979, with honors from San Diego State University. Yep. And I'm a registered financial advisor. I have 4 security licenses for financial advising and 5 insurance licenses. So I've been in finance a long time. But I've also own an engineering company, media, film company, and radio, and TV. And so it's busy.
That's an impressive resume.
I want to retire. It's too much work.
Well, can we narrow this down a little bit to Money Matters? I want to learn about the organization. I guess it's more of a show than an organization. Maybe where it starts.
Actually, the media portion, which is the radio shows and the newspaper articles, I don't get paid for any of that.
Yeah,
it's a conflict of interest because I am a registered financial advisor. And also an insurance agent. So BAP is an insurance company with financial advisory attached to another company that I have that I don't own, but I'm part of Advantage Financial in Auburn. So I have because it's sort of like the financial package where we sell fire insurance, which is extremely busy right now.
Very relevant. We see the planes going overhead all the time, and it's just...
Yeah, every time I say fire insurance, everybody wants to talk about fire insurance.
Sure.
It's very busy. It's very convoluted. I am, we won't talk about what I'm, there's another seminar coming up, but.
You can talk about whatever you want to. Let's chat.
I teach a class over at the Placer County College for Adults on financial advising and on fire insurance, and that's where it gets very, very busy. So most of the insurance business right now is for fire insurance, obviously. It's very busy, not very profitable because everybody's shopping. And then a financial advisory is retirement solutions and money management and things along those lines. which with the market going crazy, up and down, the financial business and the insurance business really doesn't slow down. Didn't slow down for COVID at all. People still need insurance, and they still need to have somebody manage your money.
So how would a listener to Money Matters get their relevant information? Is there a phone number they would call? And we can certainly put that at the end for a number they would call.
Yeah.
How do you get in touch with the people?
On
it's not live.
Well, I did a live show for, 15, 16 years. Right now
okay.
it's not live because it went non-live after COVID, and the schedules are moving around.
Sure.
Right now, when you see a newspaper article of mine, you will see a phone number and everything, contact information, and a disclaimer.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a money thing, so I got a disclaimer on all the articles.
We could put that either there or at the end.
And right.
Let's see if I can do this.
And then also,
good.
Also at the end of a radio show or the beginning and the end of a newscast, you'll also hear a disclaimer.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And they'll have my contact information. And because I'm in the newspaper, you can just Google up the name and you'll get a hit.
Well, I feel like we have a good idea about the different branches of Money Matters and even a bit how it started. Is there anything more you want to say about how it started on the radio or how it started on the newspaper before we go on to where it's going?
Well, I've always been in financial advisory on a money management level, on an analyst level, because I've been doing it since '79. I actually bought my first stock when I was 14 after I read the book, which was Phillips 66, because I liked the logo.
Hell of a
book.
book.
I've been in stocks for how many years that is, right? 89?
Sure.
Yeah, a long time. And so it's something that I'm highly interested in. I love the business. It's like coaching baseball, though, which I did for about 7 years. You love the business, but the parents can be difficult. So clients can be challenging. So when a client interviews me to manage your money, I'm also interviewing the client.
Right.
At this point in my career, I can kind of pick and choose. So there are a lot of people I said, I will shuttle them off.
What's the phrase you use when you want to say no thank you, but be in a kind way?
Thank you. Here's a phone number you can call.
That's pretty good.
Right.
My dad has one. He works. He's retired now, but he was an elementary principal. Had to do a lot of board meetings and what.
Sure.
And he would say, "Ooh, I think I'd like to not do that."
Right.
That worked every time.
I kind of like that.
I think I'd like to not do that.
What I get, which is interesting, I get a lot of invitations to lunch.
Sure.
And I know where that's going. Or somebody stops me and says, it used to be when I did the radio show before I did newspapers, there was no picture. So the only time people would notice me was in a restaurant. They'd say, I know that voice.
So if they're inviting you to lunch, are they wanting some free advice? Or are they
yes,
invest?
they are. Yes, they are.
That's what it is.
And so now I used to be, I always call people back, and I'm a little bit shy as far as telling somebody no. I don't like to say no.
Yeah.
So I finally learned there are stand-pat answers that you give somebody on certain things, and I know that people that get asked a lot for things have that, and mine is send me an email, and I'll have somebody get back to you. Therefore, that weeds out half of them, because half of them won't send you an email.
Right.
So, yeah.
They might get the undertone of that, or just
You
go,
really
well.
want to speak to me, send me an email, and then,
Yeah,
I want to find out, because sometimes they want free advice, and I'll say, I'll tell you what, you come over and build my deck, and I'll give you free advice.
We'll go ahead and flash that email across the bottom too there if we want to. Just
Okay, sure.
No, I'm joking.
You can always use more.
Wonderful. So that gives us a sort of foundation, the organization, a bit of where it began. Where do you see this going? And let's really focus on, I suppose, how you see it going and building or changing within Nevada County and the surrounding areas.
The business?
Yeah, and I suppose there's different branches
in
of it.
General?
Dealer's choice.
The market, as far as the market is concerned, because a lot of people want to know that, the market will reflect reality eventually. But it basically is the sum of all the billions of players in it at any one time. And a good example I use is before the housing market crashed, there was a couple of Merrill Lynch funds that flopped over, and the housing market was already crashing. But housing stocks continued to run. So it's counterintuitive. And the reason is because all the investors believe that housing hadn't crashed yet. So markets will do things that are illogical. They will eventually reflect reality, but they, at first, a lot of it's day-to-day noise. As far as the business is concerned, I enjoy it so much. I actually like the creative part of it, the making the shows and the articles. I mean, I got to produce an article every week, and with economics, there is never a shortage of things to talk about. You could talk
Just
about
a different way to say it.
anything in this thing. I talk about water, how the tables. I mean, it's just there's so many fields. I never get tired of writing with it. But I'm approaching 70, and so I'm keeping them going. I have 2 sons and a daughter, so they've always seen me do the media, and they've seen me do the financial and insurance. So. Hopefully one of them will move into it, but I don't think I'll ever stop. I really don't. I think I won't do as much money management or insurance at this point. I'll hand it off or sell it off. But I think as far as writing the media and I like to write articles, love it. And I always ask. I don't ask, did you like it? I ask, did you understand it?
Yeah.
And so what I like to do is my dad used to say, if you explain something to somebody and they don't get it, it's your fault. So it's the person that's explaining it.
Yeah.
And so I like to make a very complicated subject like economics easy. So when people say, I like your stuff, I don't necessarily agree with you all the time, right? But I understand. I understand it.
You have a bit of an exit, not necessarily exit strategy, but you see something on the horizon where it could change, could maybe hand off the business or different branches of it. Do you see it growing to any other direction? Podcast or, is that a little outside of where you want to be?
Pre-COVID, I got contacted by Clear Channel.
Okay, great.
They wanted to talk about moving me to New York, to the Trump building of all places. We're not getting into politics.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, the offer disappeared. And so I do post on public portals for other radio shows, other radio programs. Community radio needs to fill the spots, and they can't afford to pay people, and I can't charge.
Yeah.
And so I do put it on portals where stations pick it up, and that's if that grows to a couple hundred or 300-400, that's fine.
Yeah, there's only positive results from that by putting it out there.
Well, not everybody likes what I write about.
Yeah, that's up to them. It's out there, though.
Right, it's out there.
Okay, great. So what impact do you hope to have? What impact do you hope your shows, your articles have on the people that are immediately, maybe not your friends or people that are taking you out to lunch, but everyone that can just tune in?
I think personally, I hate to say this, I don't think the financial industry does a real good job about explaining things to people.
Well, why do you think that might be the case,
And the reason being is because they want you to believe that you need us.
Yeah.
So I like to lift people's level of education up a little bit, get a little bit more familiar with their money. So that's my goal. And to explain, instead of just saying, oh, GDP went up by 3%, or federal open market operations were down today, people are like, what? What's that? To explain on a simplistic level what that is.
Did you see the film The Big Short?
I did. Loved it.
Yeah, and I think that was a big through line, saying like, look, this isn't that complicated, but we entrench it in all these phrases and all these acronyms so that kids or people just go, I can't deal with it, you figure it out. And meanwhile, they're just making money hand over fist. What were your thoughts on that? Is that pretty accurate?
The movie was accurate. Yeah, it was accurate for the Wall Street. I love the Wall Street guys because the Wall Street guys are, some lines in there were like, I'm going to rip your face off in commissions, but tomorrow you're going to love me. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I suppose we're at the place where we could say, how can we help? How can we help you get your word out there? What can Nevada County media do?
Well, you're doing it
right
now. You're doing it right now. And Nevada County's been a big supporter of Money Matters, even when it was a tiny little show.
Right.
And what happened is in 2005, I was saying the housing market would crash. And I really said that because I have all the shows recorded.
Right.
And everybody thought I was crazy. And then the housing market crashed. And then I went into the radio station one morning to do my show. Yeah. And they said, NBC's here. They're going to film your show. And I went, yeah, I got a girl that'll make you all up and do all this. Really? And so NBC came up from Sacramento. And I said, how did you find me? They said, somebody's listening. So you're putting the word out there. The articles are out there. I just enjoy what I do. I really do. And I try not to be political. I try not to be political.
We're going to keep this evergreen as well.
Yeah, good.
That's wonderful. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with the people?
Just thanks for the support. Everybody's been great. Those that love the show, love the articles, great. There are people that maybe not so crazy about it. I try to be neutral. I try to stay on the money portion of the subject and not get political. And so I thank you for all the support I've had, because without everybody out there, I wouldn't be here.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you so much for your
Jed,
time,
it
Mark.
was a pleasure.
And also with you. All right. Folks, that is Let's Chat, brought to you by River Valley Community Bank. My name is Jed Dixon. Thank you so much for watching.